I go around and I go around and I go around, I go around. I'm always out, I am always out, I am always out, I'm always out. I keep running so I don't have to go.
Hello, and welcome back to episode 2, where we navigate through just the post grad lifestyle, the ups and downs, all of the little things that no one would have prepared you for once you graduate. So if you're new here, I obviously make this post grad content. I also do a bit of lifestyle, we do bookish type content, and we sometimes dive into breaking down reality TV shows or tier ranking things in general. It's a bit of everything. So definitely, if any of that sounds fun, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button down below to, be notified every single time that I post. As I said, this is episode 2, so you have not watched episode 1 yet. I forgot what I called it, because I think when I brought it out, I called it one name, but then literally this morning, I changed the name, so I completely forgot what I called it. But if you haven't watched episode 1, I'm going to link it down below. Over there, I basically explain what I'm going to be doing in this little series, and I kind of give you an overview of what's been going on for me, my struggles. It was really the emotional side of I guess mental fog. So definitely go check that one out, because once again, I do really explain where the series is going. And that one, I guess it's more of a personal thing. It's my little emotional diaries, but I actually do touch on little things that I've been doing that have been helping me, so it's this is my story, but then this is what I discovered. And I just want to say, throughout this entire series, I don't have all the answers. I'm navigating this the same as you. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're around the same age range as me, or obviously you're probably in the same life points as me. You probably graduated a year before or a year after, or you're gonna graduate in a year or two, or you just graduated like me. We're all navigating this thing together. I don't have all the answers, but I'm showing you what works for me, trying to give you advice. If you guys have anything that any comments, any comments, concerns, questions, whatever, don't hesitate to leave it down below, and we can start a little conversation together, because once again, we're all navigating this thing together. It's new for all of us, and the same way that I'm hoping I can help you, I hope that through your feedback you guys can help me also. I was gonna say negative feedback loop. No, it's a very positive and uplifting spiral and circle. So today I actually wrote down what we're gonna talk about. I came so prepared, because last time it was just once again emotional, getting my story out. Now we're actually tackling certain topics. Grab a drink, grab a snack, grab a notebook maybe, because today we're going to talk about lacking control, feeling a need for control. I kind of touched on it in the first video, but I really want to hone in on it over here. We're going to talk about the whole 5-year plan, and what do I do if I don't have it? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a plan. I don't have a job. What am I supposed to be doing? And also we're going to touch on, having all this free time, taking time for yourself. I was going to say festering. Festering is not the word. Cultivating things that you've always been putting off. And hopefully you guys can, get a little something from today's episode. So yeah, let's just go right into it. I wanted to start this by talking about my graduation ceremony. When I brought out episode 1, obviously I had finished my finals. I had technically finished my school, but I hadn't had my official formal graduation yet. Today, the day that I'm filming, we are June 11th, and I actually graduated literally 24 hours ago. I'm looking at the time it is now, literally 24 hours ago, I walked the stage and I graduated. Obviously I wanted to talk a bit about that, because I don't know, it's you hype this moment up in your head, and not that it's underwhelming. By no means is it underwhelming. It's a huge event, but it's I don't know, you have this build up for probably 3 to 5 years, maybe even more, of okay, my university graduation, we're getting there. And then it hits, and it's wow, you're blind. The best way I can describe it is you're blinded by the light. But okay, let's go to just the progression of the ceremony. I actually got there late, so I'm actually so mad at myself. But yeah, I got there late, so they didn't have time to alphabetize me. I don't know if that's the word. They weren't able to put me in alphabetical order, so I kind of passed at the end. And I was yes, my department, because basically what they did is that the whole engineering faculty, it's pretty big, right? So they kind of split things. So I'm mechanical engineering, so I would have graduated like in the middle of the ceremony, but then also my last name is K, so I would have graduated like in the middle of the middle. But I'm like, being late, I basically closed the ceremony. So I'm not saying to be late, but I kind of like did not go like catastrophically wrong, right? And I remember my heart was pounding, like pounding. And the speeches that they said, it's like obviously I knew that they were gonna talk, but I didn't know I was gonna get emotional. I was like, oh my God, I should have brought Kleenex. I generally really like the speeches. Like it kind of sucks that much of the speech, like the focus of it was what's like going on. I mean, obviously it's gonna be what's going on in the world, but it's like, this is under attack. And I'm just saying this is like not a political show at all, but it's is obviously like a big thing going on. And it's like, okay, you guys are like graduating, like you guys are going into the real world. You have the power now. Make sure that you use it for good. Like very, very inspiring speech. Okay, everything is recorded. I filmed a little bit of it. The video that would have came out the Thursday before this video is coming out would be my graduation get ready with me, when I have not edited it yet because it's supposed to come out in like 2 days. Actually, no, it's supposed to come out tomorrow from when I'm filming it. I haven't edited it yet. I gave my camera to my friends to like get a bit of the speech. I have it recorded. Well, because they live streamed it. I mean, I'm not going to share the link to the video of the entire speech. Like, obviously, it's like people's privacy. I don't want you guys to watch my like entire like live stream graduation, but I'm gonna like put little clips of the speech, whatever I feel like resonated the most with me or was the most important in that video. So if you do want to go, check it out, definitely go watch my uni grad get ready with me. But yeah, I got like pretty emotional during the speeches, but my heart wasn't like pounding, right? I was like calm, cool, collected, right? And then when they called my row up, oh my God, when we had to leave the auditorium, because you left the auditorium and then they took you through like a back hallway to the backstage where you had to show your marshalling card. I don't know if that's what they call it, like everywhere you had to show your card, and then they scanned it so your name like pops up on the screen and like they know who to call next. When I was like walking over there, my heart was pounding. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then so many people were there to like fix your outfit. And I was like, literally touch anything. Don't be scared. Like touch my hair, touch my face. Like get an eyelash out of my eye if you see it. Like if my gown looks awful, pull at it, fix it. Like just do anything to make me look good, right? The auditorium, it's a huge auditorium. It was so packed. But once you get on that stage, you forget that everyone is there. Like I don't know if it's because it was like not overwhelming, but it was like you're on a stage, it's like your moments. If I did not come from the like crowd, I wouldn't have even known that there was an entire audience. I might have been just like super in the moment, or I might just be like what everyone experiences. Walking up there, I was like, I want to make sure I look good. I want to make sure I don't trip, because the heels that I wore didn't have a little band on my ankle. It was like a slip-in heel, so I only had like a small band around my toes and then a small band in the middle of my foot. So walking up there, I was like, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. But again, once you get on that stage, nothing goes through your head. My head was like empty. There was like no thought. Ask me like what was on that stage. I could not tell you. I just remember having a smile on my face. I was like, this is my moment. Like I worked so hard for this moment. These 5 to 10 seconds, it's literally all about me. All about me. It was surreal. It was like, wow, just walking the stage, because I've never had a graduation. I'm from Canada, I'm from Montreal. But the high school and like the primary school that I went to, my school used the system from France. So it was as if I went to a French school, but in a different country. Okay, if I go into the specifics, it's going to take way too long because I have to explain you 2 systems that you probably do not know of. Because yes, like I literally use a like super niche system within a super niche system. Basically, what you need to know is that finishing high school in the Quebec system is different than where you are when you finish high school in the French system. But when you finish high school in the French system, you don't have a celebration. You only have it once you finish your lycée, right? So when I finished high school, I didn't have a graduation. And then I left the French system, went to the Quebec system to go into English. And then that's when COVID happened. So I didn't have a graduation from CEGEP, which like everyone else had, because of COVID. So I never had a high school graduation. I never had my other graduation. So this was like my big moment, my first time wearing a gown. My school didn't have the caps and I was like so mad. I'm gonna like buy myself one. I truly do not care. Like I want the cap. But yeah, my first time like wearing the gown, it was such an emotional time. Like I was just smiling on my face. Literally, I could have been like rained on. A bird could have pooped on my head and the smile would have not left my face. Yeah, like these 5 to 10 seconds, it's just you and you're like, wow, like I made it. I actually did this. Like we're celebrating me. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on my ceremony because it just happened. It's like super fresh in my head. But now let's go more into the core of the like post grad diaries and like the like struggles, I guess you can say, that we're gonna like dive into. So the big thing today is control. I forget if I touched on this in the first episode, but I recently discovered that I'm someone who needs control. Maybe I'm not a control freak, but I like being in control. And that's actually sorry, we have people who come to like garden, well, cut grass and whatever. And I just saw someone walk into my backyard and I was like, is it that person? But yes, I'm someone who needs control. And I actually learned this in this past year through what I was doing and through where my path was like leading me. I wouldn't have thought I would be like this before, but it was really like being president, where it's like I need to, I wouldn't say exert control over other people, but I need to know what is going on. I have to have a say in what's going on. I need to put my input, like be in charge of things to make sure that everything goes right. Call it a control freak if you want to, but I need to like, I want to say get my hands dirty, but like I need to know what's going on. I need to have control. And obviously now that we are leaving a system that is so structured, you don't have control on anything, right? Like for our entire lives, like even though university, it's less structured than high school. I wouldn't say people are controlling you, but people are telling you like what to do. There's like rules, there's guidelines, there's an expected path. Like obviously people like don't go to university, they don't finish school, but most people, I mean honestly, like everyone in my life that I know like has done it. Like it's just a path that everyone follows and it's so like structured. Like I know I'm someone who needs structure, whether it's external or internal, like no, not internal, or like self-inflicted. Can I say self-inflicted? Like I'm someone who needs this structure, needs this like, what's the word in English? I have no idea what the word is in English, but not like box in, but like I guess just structure, right? And I like being the one who's in control of it. And then yeah, going from like a system where there's so much structure and it's like where I had so much control just over everything that affected my life, going from that to you have nothing, it's like it feels so overwhelming because I don't have any control on anything. Like if you're looking at people's lives in general, I feel like you have like 4 to 5 categories of like your life, right? So first one, work, school, you know, like what you do, right? That's number one. Number two, I would put family with friendships, but we can have family being one. We have friendships, we have romantic relationships. You know, I did want to separate the relationships because I feel like they are different, or you can just like group them together and it's like personal relationships. You have health and wellness. And then what's the other one? No, actually, I think we have, oh no, yeah, that's 5. We have 5, right? Let's say that we group all the relationships together. That makes 3. So employment, school, job, whatever you want to call it, personal relationships, and then health and fitness. Personal relationships, let's talk about that one first. It involves someone else. So yes, you can do everything in your power to improve on that, to have control over this, but it affects another person. You can never control another person. So that whole area of my life, I don't have control. The whole job area, I say this to my friends, it's the will of God. You know, like if I get the job or if I not, it's like I can only do so much to get it, the same way that I can only do so much to maintain and to foster my personal relationships. So those I feel like I don't have any control over because it's the will of God, right? I really, really focus in on health and wellness and just like me, because that's the only area where I have full control over. I'm the only one who has a say. I wouldn't say I too intensely went into that realm, but I really did focus on like health, wellness, and me. And just like putting myself first in, honestly, not gonna lie, kind of like selfish way, because this is how I was able to like hold control over something in my life. And with that came just like, making sure that I'm eating well, like making sure that I'm going to bed on time, just like taking care to like take care of my face, my whole like skincare thing, and like take care of my body also, because we put so much like emphasis on like our skincare, but like we don't do that with our body. So it was just really like a wellness thing. I went fully into like wellness. I do like morning yoga, I meditate, I go for walks almost every day if the weather's nice. Like I have obsessively been wearing my Apple. I'm not wearing it today because today is like a very YouTube heavy day and like I'm not going to move around that much like for now, but I wear my Apple Watch obsessively, and I have this like itch where I have to close all my circles. So, obviously it's like not the worst way to like impulsively like toxically, more than impulsively, like throw yourself into, but I've been like so like gung-ho focused on that. I can tell it's sometimes like hurting other areas of my life, but then again, like this is where I have control, and when I have control I feel capable of doing other things. So my little like recommendation for you guys on if you need to have control, find some area in your life where you can, like enforce this control. That's what it was for me. And, obviously health and wellness, like it's not gonna hurt me. Like as long as I'm not like stupid about it, it's not gonna hurt me. So really try to find this one area where you do have control, where no one else has a say besides you. And most times it would be like an internal thing. It's gonna be you, because you can't control other people. But yeah, my thing was I delved into this whole realm to have this control. It does make me feel better, because once I have that, not that I forget that I need control in other areas, but I feel like I'm less reluctant to hold on to the like fear that like I cannot do anything in this field of my life, in this area of my life, because I don't have control. I'm more open to like relinquishing control because I have control somewhere else. So if you're someone like me who is a little like a little bit of a control freak, because I know not everyone is like that. Like I've had this conversation with a bunch of friends, and I know some friends are not like that, which I'm honestly so jealous of you, because it's hard. It's been really, really hard. But yeah, if you're a little bit like me, try to find an area that you can control, because it really it just helps ground you. It helps ground you so much. And then going from this to like my next talking points, really focusing in on me and having control of my health and wellness made me automatically take more time for me and really just put myself first. Some people, especially older people, are like, okay, well, you're done, like when are you gonna move out, when are you gonna find a job, when, yes, this is coming from a good place, because they do care about you, and like they want to make sure that you succeed. Just because you're taking time for yourself, you're really focusing on yourself and on your well-being, that doesn't make you lazy. Like despite what other people might say, despite other people's what they mean when they're saying things, or like where they're trying to push you, you're not being lazy. You need this, because we've been working so hard nonstop. Like I don't know about you, but oh my god, for me, like I never had a summer. I was always taking summer classes or working, and then I had to like stop working because I didn't have any time because of all my summer classes. This is literally the first time in my life where I can just breathe and do what I want to do. Like, I'm not saying that I didn't like, prioritize what I wanted to do. It wasn't like super, super often, just because of like all the things that I had going on. So if someone makes you feel lazy or they call you lazy, honestly, screw them. You deserve this break. You deserve time to really like learn about yourself, discover yourself. Because how do you want to like move forward in other areas of your life when you don't know who you are? For me, this like taking time for myself and just doing what I want to do, not because I'm obliged to, but just because I truly want to. Like obviously it was a lot of like YouTube, because YouTube it was always like in the back of my mind, and then I would do it more over the summer, but it would really like fall through during the year. But now I am really treating it like a job, and it did help that I kind of like started doing this last summer, but treating it like a job, not in a toxic way, but in a like, okay, this is important to you, like this is the plan to make you succeed, so I've been like pouring my heart into YouTube. I've been reading so much more because I want to. And like, yes, sure, reading for me, like it's like I have content to like film my videos with, so I guess it can kind of like be work. But think about like what you did as a kid that you don't have time to, like that you didn't have time to do before because you were so busy. What is something that you've always wanted to start but you couldn't do because you didn't have time? Really try to foster those things now, because Yeah, sure, we all want a job. We're all looking for a job, but you've never been more free than you are now. Use this time to travel, to build new hobbies, to learn a new skill, not because it's going to get you somewhere in the future, but just because you want to. Like I'm learning Italian. Am I going to need Italian during work at some point? Probably not, but I want to learn it just because. There was no reason, just because. I got into painting. I was so into art when I was younger. I bought this paint by numbers because I didn't feel like ready to just like dive in head first. And I love it. It's so much fun. I turn on a show and I just paint. And talking about shows, I was never a movie person. And whenever people ask me, what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite show? I was like, I'm not a movie person. I'm not a show person. But I started watching movies and I found some of the best movies that I've ever watched in my entire life. Like, I'm not saying sit in bed for like an entire week and just like binge a show. I'm saying if you need to one day just sit down in front of your TV and just like watch shows, do what you want to do. Because one, it's not lazy. And then two, how do you want to like discover who you are when you don't know what makes you happy, what makes you shine, what like brings that light inside your eyes, you know? And honestly, when you really take time for you, that's when you process your emotion. That's when you learn about yourself. You really try to understand what you're going through. Like me, video one, right? Episode one, there was so much that was going on. And when I really sat down, thought about it, and not like even actively thought about it, like I was just painting or watching a show, and then some connection was in my brain, and I was like, oh, this is why you're feeling that way. Or even like journaling. I started journaling anything, and oh my God, the mental clarity, you learn so much about yourself. Like, you understand your emotions, you understand the roots of your emotions. Once you do, you can change things, you can fix things, you can rewrite what you thought was hardwired in your brain because you took the time to be selfish, to do what you wanted to do. And that's not a waste of time. That's not being lazy. So many people do not know themselves, don't even know what's important to them when they're older because they never had this time. And my biggest tips over here is look at what you were interested in as a kid. Try to start that again, whether it's painting, whether it's a sport, like it can be anything. Try to go into that because it sparks something in you. Like when I started painting again, I don't know what it was, but I just felt so calm. I just felt so happy. I just felt like life has a meaning, you know? It's not just like work, 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 work. It's like I'm painting not because I'm going to post about it, not because I'm going to show it off to people, not for any reason besides I want to do it. Like I'm bored right now. I want to paint. Also, speaking about boredom, let boredom guide you. If we're bored for even a second, we turn on a show or we scroll on TikTok or any other app, we automatically go to our electronics where it's like, no, let boredom guide you because when you're bored, when you have nothing going on, I feel like that is when your brain is working the hardest. That's when you're like, hey, I feel bored. I don't feel great. I want to do something. The first thought that comes into your mind, do it. Not on your phone, not on your electronics. If you're like, oh, maybe I should go for a walk. The weather looks nice outside. Go for that walk. If you're like, I had that book that I bought the other day, but I haven't started reading, read that book. If you're like, oh, there was this coffee shop that I wanted to try, go to the coffee shop. Let boredom be your guide. I discovered so many little pastimes, so many little joys in my life by letting myself be bored. And if you don't know where to start, journal. Journal, get your emotions out. And even if journaling isn't for you, something that I do is that I just go for a drive and I just talk. And I probably look crazy and you feel crazy. Like for me, it's not that like outlandish because it's as if I had a camera in front of me. Like I'm used to like not talking to anyone. That sounds so weird. Just talk out loud because yeah, sure, like journaling does help, but you have to sit down, you have to write. Sometimes just voicing what you're going through out loud, you make connections and you're like, wow. So that's my whole little spiel on, taking time for yourself and just like, not being ashamed of it because you need it to grow. that was like that part of the video. Now I want to move on to the pressure of the 5-year plan. So everyone is like, oh, what's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? What's your 2-year plan? I am someone who I've always like thought about the future. Like I'm very like, okay, live in the present, do what you want to do, but be aware of the future because the future is coming. You know, I mean, like hopefully, knock on wood, the future's coming. And you don't need to be obsessed about it, but you do need to think about it a little bit, right? And everyone is like, oh, what's your 5-year plan? What's your 5-year plan? What's your 5-year plan? I always had an idea on what my 5-year plan is. So I guess I did have that advantage where I wasn't like, I truly have no idea what I want to do. But even though I knew what my 5-year plan was, it changed so many times. I forget if I talked about this in my episode 1 or in another video, but my 5-year plan changed so much. So if you don't know what your 5-year plan is now, don't see it as like something set in stone, a very like fixed detailed list. See it as a direction. Like let's say you're like, okay, you know, I spent my entire life in this city. I think I want to move. Okay, your 5-year plan is I have moved to another city. Obviously, it's in 5 years, so there's time to tweak things. There's time to like discover what works for you, what doesn't. But be like, okay, my 5-year plan is that I'm going to be living in another city. And then once you start traveling, once you start thinking about things, once you start discovering who you are, you can narrow down where it's like, okay, you know, I would like to stay in my country. So these would be like interesting options. Let's see which one like works best for me. After have that be your like goal. So instead of having it be like a different country, have it be like this city. And you can even get more specific. It can be like a special city in like another country, but have something over there. Have it be super, super vague. And then you will narrow it down along the way. Like me, I always knew I wanted to leave Montreal. I've been here my entire life. Like I love the city, but I need a change, right? I was like, I don't know if I want to like settle down in Montreal, like buy a house, like start my like actual life here. I need to leave to know, okay, like do I want to come back here? Like I cannot just like blindly go into continuing in the city because I don't know what's out there, you know? My initial 5-year plan when I was, well, for me, CEGEP, like for you guys, like high school, I want to go to Waterloo University and then get a job working in Toronto. That was the plan that I had. And obviously, that changed. That did not happen. When I saw that I wasn't able to get into Waterloo, I was like, okay, you know, I will do 1 year at Concordia, transfer into Waterloo, and then get a job in Toronto. That didn't work out. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do an undergrad in this more like general field in Concordia, do a master's in Waterloo, so I have those credentials, and then get a job in Toronto. That didn't work out either. And then after that, it was okay, you know, I'm gonna finish my mechanical engineering degree over here, and then we're gonna go work at this aerospace company, Pratt & Whitney, because I like plane engines. We're gonna go there, and then from there I can move to Toronto. That's not gonna happen anymore. So now I'm like, okay, you know what? I want to get a job at Airbus, use that to transfer to the, oh my god, what's the name? Like just like transfer to the headquarters, not the headquarters, but like transfer to Bristol and work from the UK. And then from there, once I have like the paperwork and everything, leave Airbus, go to Rolls-Royce to work on those plane engines that I've always loved. Do you see the evolution in this plan? And the only way that I learned exactly what I wanted, what would like work for me, and I'm just saying this plan, it probably isn't even going to happen. In the next month, it's probably going to be completely different. But I wouldn't have known what worked for me best, what I truly, truly wanted until I put something down, put something vague down. You know, we made like small tweaks along the way, and the final thing was always Toronto, Toronto, Toronto. Now it's the UK. You know, it's not something set in stone. It is meant to change. It's supposed to be a path to guide you. Let's take the metaphor of like when you're going on a hike. Yes, there's a typical path, but you can always branch out throughout the trees if you see something cool. If you see an owl in the distance, you don't have to follow the path. You can go like around, take a picture of the owl, and then come back on the path. Or you can cut the path entirely and go through the trees. See your 5-year plan as that. It is a path, but you always have those like small little trails on the side. You can always leave and tweak things along the way, but you're not gonna know that these tweaks are possible. You're not gonna be open to the idea. You're not gonna like, know what is important for you, what like the core things that you want are, if you do not put something down. So yeah, if you want to live in a different city, literally put in 5 years, I'm gonna change cities. And then, as I did, through experience, through learning other things, you're going to narrow it down to something that you probably didn't even think was a possibility in the past. Because when I made my initial plan, well, this was like 10 years. When I made my initial plan, did I think that I would want to live in the UK? Absolutely not. Did I think that I wanted to work in the aerospace field on plane engines? Absolutely not. Even when I made my 5 year plan like 2 years ago, did I think that I wanted to move to the UK? Absolutely not. Even when I made it last summer, I was like, this company in Canada, but now this other company that does the exact same thing, but in a whole other country. I remember I had this conversation with someone when I realized that I wanted to go into like plane engines and do that type of engineering. I was like, when I started university, this wasn't even an option for me because I didn't even know that this was an option. I didn't even know that this was something that I was going to like, that I was going to be interested in. It wasn't part of my plan because I didn't even know it was a possibility. But since I always knew, okay, like I want to do engineering, I want to leave Montreal, everything pieced together, and I really had my eye open for things that were like along this path that were maybe a little different than what I had planned, but at the base it's the same core things. So it's not set in stone. It's a path to guide you. It's to guide you, write something down. I'm thinking, what else could it be? Like, yeah, it could be a profession that you want. It can even be a little like side hustle. It can be like, I don't know, just think of one thing and then watch how over the course of time things are gonna like literally just fit into place. So yeah, truly go out there, experiment with things, learn about yourself, and this ties back into like taking time for yourself is not selfish. Learn about yourself, learn what you're into, because once you really like learn about yourself, once you experience things, once you take time for yourself, that's when everything clicks together. Trust me, the revelations I've had, the epiphanies I've had, it's when I was either experimenting with things, learning something that I found interesting, and just doing what I wanted to do. So experiment, and that's when you're gonna have like something planned. If you honestly want help trying to figure out like what's there for you, I've always known what I wanted, but I've really tried to help people like find out what they wanted. So if you want like a little bit of help, please like feel free to contact me on, I was gonna say Goodreads, no, on Instagram, on Insta, it's links down below. Shoot me a DM, say you're coming from this video, and I would gladly help you. Like, I love helping people. I love, this is like off topic, but I had a conversation with one of my friends and she was like, I'm so inspired by you. Like, I see your videos and it makes me want to do better. I love being that person for other people. So literally any way that I can help you, please let me know. So to kind of wrap everything up, I just wanted to say that, it's okay to not know what you're doing. It's okay to be like in this in-between stage where you're like, I don't know what I want to do. Like, I don't have a job. I don't have, these sort of type of relationships, but it's like, you aren't going to know what's important until you take the time for yourself, right? So yes, it's a weird in-between stage. It feels like stuff are pretty stagnant. You don't know what's going on. But once you find out what is important to you, who you are as a person, then everything falls into place. Like even this past month, I spent so much time alone learning about myself. I found my new hobbies. Like, I found out that painting was something that I really wanted to do. I discovered a whole other genre of books that I thought I wasn't gonna like, but I started like looking into it and I'm like, oh, I actually love this. Being in this in-between stage, it's such a beautiful place to be. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. You just have to take the time to learn who you are, to find out these possibilities, and to be open for these chances to discover things about yourself. I also have this little thing that I wanted to share over here while we're talking about this like little in-between stage and just like, something fell and like everything is okay. So I went on a little solo trip. I bought this box of macarons from La Durée. This sounds so off topic, but I promise you it has something to do with like the topic of this video. And when I was like choosing the box, the guy over there was like, oh, you know, there's like classical boxes, but then there's this like special edition box. I was like, you know what? Let's do the special edition. It was a collab between La Durée and Maison Matisse, which from my research is like, I wouldn't say home decor, but they do like home things. I honestly have never heard of them. It was like a brief little like research I did before like filming this. In the little box over here, I don't know if you guys can see it, there's a little quote. So it's a quote in French. I'm going to read it in French first and translate it in English in case you do not know French. So it says, Il y a des fleurs partout pour qui veut bien les voir. And basically it means like there's flowers everywhere if you're willing to look. There's beauty everywhere. You just have to not be so in your head. You have to just be present in this moment, be experiencing things, be open to things. If not, you're not going to see these flowers. You're not going to see the beauty. And honestly, reading this quote, it opened up something in me because I saw it at the perfect time for me. I finished the macarons, but I'm keeping this because this is such a nice quote and it did like change how I view things. Now when I'm walking through downtown, I'm not just like in my own space, like closed off to the world. Not that I walk around with like a creepy smile on my face, but I don't walk around with like a neutral face. I feel like I walk around with a like slightly happy face. And there's just, I don't know, having a slight smile on your face just makes you feel so much better and just makes you see beauty because not that you're looking for it, but you're open to it. Like, it's so weird how I am. It's not like this, you know, because that's obviously creepy, but it's not like, also it's like something small, you know. I mean, I really hope it doesn't come across creepy to people who like pass by me, but just being in a headspace where you're positive, not in a delusional way, but you're just like, you're just happy experiencing what's going on. You will see the beauty, you will see the flowers, and you will learn great things about yourself. This honestly really helps me. Just like having a smile on your face, looking around, and doing what you want to do. Like if you're, let's say you have to get somewhere, you have to get to place A, right? You have to walk there. Take the long route, take the scenic route, explore, and you might find this like small little shop and you're like, oh my god, this looks so cute. Go inside and you might see something that makes connections in your brain and you're like, oh my god, this. Like the amount of times that happened to me is absolutely insane. You just have to put yourself in a place where you can see the flowers. So I just wanted to remind you that I don't have all the answers. Obviously, I'm navigating this with you guys. I don't have all the answers, but I'm taking it one step at a time, one day at a time, being open to experiences, just being open to life in general, experiencing life, and just putting myself in a place where if something comes up, if a discovery comes up, I'm willing to try. You know, I'm not completely closed off to the idea. I'm willing to try. I'm willing to experiment. I'm willing to learn more about myself. I have all the time in the world right now that I want to learn what's important for me. I want to learn, I wouldn't say what my values are because obviously like I feel like you would know by now what your core values are, but what your boundaries are. This sounds crazy, but it's like when you learn what you're interested in, you automatically change what your values are, what your boundaries or like where your standards are because you're like, I'm becoming this person and I'm not going to accept less, whether it be in relationships or in friendships. Like for me, it was really in friendships. It was like, I know who I am now. I'm not like letting this go in my friendships. Not that I'm going to like throw you away like that, right? But you build your boundaries and you are able to find like-minded people. I don't want to sound like one of those people, but like again, when you know yourself through the things that I told you guys about in this video, you automatically attract people who are like-minded people, or it's like people who you've never had certain conversations with. You can start talking to them and you can talk about so many more things and you find out, oh my god, like we are connecting on this whole deeper level because we both have this thing that we never talked about. So what I'm learning right now is to get curious, experiment, because you never know like what's right around the corner. It might be something bad, it might be something good, it might be a blessing in disguise, honestly, but just open your eyes. And if you're in a good headspace, if you're in a good mindset, if your eyes are open, you will see the flowers. I feel like today's episode might be a little bit longer than episode 1, so I do apologize for that, but I really hope you guys enjoy it. I feel like today was much more like, let's talk about like certain specific things, not just like something in general. So I don't know if when you go to other topics in the future, since it is more specific, it might be like longer, but I'm really going to try to aim to not go over an hour. I feel like 30 minutes to an hour is a really, really good mark because I'm able to like talk a bit about personal experiences, but also give like tips, give advice. I realize that I do kind of like repeat myself at times, but I really did want it to be like not super, super scripted. I want it to be as if it was having a conversation with a friend, just like small little talking points, small little bullet points, and then we really like go where the conversation seems to flow. So once again, I really hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, my socials are down below if you want to go chit chat over there. I talked about my socials first and then my brain bugged. I was like, what do I talk about now? But if you really like this, then definitely subscribe and leave a thumbs up so I know that you guys like this video, well, these type of videos. And if you have any ideas on like where to bring this series, like obviously I do have episodes planned, but if there's something specific you guys do want to talk about, let me know. Because honestly, today's episode wasn't even supposed to like talk about like taking time for yourself. But then when I really thought about like the whole 5-year plan thing, I was like, oh my God, you know what? I should definitely touch on this. And then that built the episode that we had today. So if there's anything you want to talk about, I'll see where I can fit it in, where it makes sense, how I can transition things. Because once again, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. This is not only for me, it's for you too. I am teaching you guys what I'm learning. I'm like telling you guys about my experiences, but I also want to hear feedback from you, and we're going to help each other throughout this like very messy, turbulent time in our lives. And if you guys tell me something that I never thought of or I've never experienced, I'm going to put myself out there to experience it, to be able to like say something to you guys, because that's where growth is, you know? So once again, hope you guys really, really enjoyed. Stay safe, protect your vibe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.